country. This is a complete departure from the old order where an election security task force was put together just some months before the general elections. Now, since its creation over a year ago, the Police Election Security Secretariat has worked with the various political parties in their respective internal elections, from the polling station through the constituency to the national executive elections. The Secretariat is currently working with both parties on their parliamentary and presidential primaries. Now, the second intervention is the setting up of a dedicated legal team to subject all politically related incidents to legal scrutiny to establish whether there are elements of crime or otherwise before any police action is taken. Let me skim through so we can end this now. At the meeting, both parties were also urged that with these policing interventions in place, they should do their politics and allow the police to do their policing. We therefore called on them to support us, including criticizing us constructively to do a professional job in line with our mandate. The communique ends as follows. Once again, we wish to assure the public that we remain committed to ensuring peace, security, law, and order in the country at all times, including before, during, and after all elections. This is signed Grace Ansa Akrofi, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Director, Public Affairs.
I see. So they would give us updates in the coming days. That's what the police are saying. And then also they're asking the politicians to allow them to police while they politic. That for me is a very good call. I don't know what the political scientists may be thinking at this point, but William, what do you say to the tone of the letter or the release that the police issued yesterday following that meeting?
I mean, people have said that not a statement, but they should have just invited them or caused their arrests. Others have also said that those statements are just political talk. Because these individuals are repeating what others have said in the past, and they went to parliament and they said, well, it was political talk. Others said they had repented and so on and so forth. I sat here and said, look, the police were not going to do anything about this matter.
I said they were not going to do it.
I listened to the venerable former Attorney General, Minister of Justice, Mr. Ayikwe Otu, who made the same. I said it wasn't going to get anywhere. Because you see, when the statement was made by the Agric Minister, there was a certain justification that came that if a political party is in power,
right,
what else would they do but to do what political parties do, to hand over to themselves? That's basically what a political party is supposed to do. They come together, individuals come together to win political power, to rule the state. That's the fundamental thing that political parties do. So that justification has come. So you can go to the IGP and say, look, and as the President Kufuor said earlier, I'm going to stand on the podium on the 7th of January 20
hand over
power to an MPP president. These are aspirational statements. But the other side is where some individuals who are not discerning enough may think that he's charging them to do something negative in respect of what will happen in the election. So,
because the truth of the matter is that on election day, the Greek minister will not be everywhere. He will be in his constituency, trying to sort the issues out.
So the issue has Hydra heads, if you like. So it behoves everybody to look at the tone or the temperature of the country at every point in time and try and make statements that will be edified. Because right now, the war or the fight on the political platform is not about elections, it's about the economy. And I said here last week that about 54% of the workforce in this country is engaged in Agric. And he being the Agric minister, if we were on the platform like that, look, don't worry about the economy. The economy is down, but we are going to turn the economy around through Agric. That's why I've come.
Right.
Young people, don't worry. Follow us, vote for the MPP.
What we are going to plant.
And so on and so forth. And I would have said so. But Mr. Ayikwe also made a point, and I agree that sometimes public speaking also, calls on you to energize the people. So if you are not, there yet, you go and do, probably will catch you.
Small will affect you.
Will catch you. And you do so. We've had people like Esla Owusu, the late Amabi Inwado, my own classmate Alistair Nelson, and so at the end of the day, Francis CM, those those hardcore, if you like, they call them the hatchet men and women of the various parties. They'll go and be making statements, and when the call comes, it was just political talk. So the IGP, if you look at the laws, I was just reading the section 208 of the Criminal and Other Offences Act, which says that a person who publishes or reproduces a statement, rumor or report which is likely to cause fear and alarm to the public or to disturb the public peace, knowing or having reason to believe that the statement or rumor is false, commits a misdemeanor. If you put it within the criminal basket,
the context,
it's going to be a very interesting case if you should be arrested. The president himself says, look, if you misbehave, etiwa chiremu bibi kakra or die be die. President Mahama says we'll mark you boot for boot.
Yeah.
But we all say that it's a do or die affair. It's English. Does that mean that people should take up arms? Because do or die affair. If Asante Kotoko and Hazard are going to play,
Neil Antivanderpoint says
exactly
he owns that the franchise because he's always said in the past as a commentator, on GBC that look, this is going to be a do or die affair,
But you see, you should expect the politicians to jump on it and do what they've done. Both of them have gone to the IGP too. They say they will come back from the police headquarters and do again. So we are just begging them that we need more talk, positive talk on the economy. Because look, those who could eat kenke with fish, you buy your kenke, you buy sardine, you go out, you buy woodin, you have Sika card, when the economy is hard, you can survive. Yeah. Now we can't do all those small things that Helen will say make us enjoy. Lord Kenya said that we could have Sika card, so Abrabona hard.
Sika.
So those are the bread and butter issues.
Yeah.
We are at IMF and you are begging for money and you come and be standing on the platform and be giving us.
Charlie, it doesn't wash.
So the IGP, the statement has released. I said that the arrest there.
You know the posture of the police. I mean, the police is sounding the warning or the caution now. And they are hoping that the politicians will stay in a certain line so that they're able to act. I know that under IGP John Kudalo, he even offered to give them bodyguards or aide-de-camps of their choice.
So that they will stop the vigilante.
He gave them the bodyguards. Some rejected it and still went for the boys.
You see?
So the police consistently may not have demonstrated that they meet with them and say one thing, and then come to do another thing. There's always a question of mistrust in the middle.
Because of
that. Okay, MPP is in power.
Yeah, of course.
The present IGP is an appointee of the regime.
Yeah.
Okay, so he meets us in a meeting and tells us this is the roadmap and we'll do A, B, C, and D in terms of security. I am in opposition. I want to come in here. The president of the day says, I want to hand over power to somebody of my political stock. So right from the get-go, they have a problem with the Electoral Commission. They have a problem with the police. They are calling on Peace Council. They are not speaking up. They are calling on Christian Council. They are not. So we've
politicized everything.
We, like the Peace Council chief said, we need to look at the law and not necessarily the individuals. Because it is the president of the republic who nominates and appoints the IGP. And as security analyst Mr. Kuting has said this morning, the IGP is an appointee of the president.
Right.
So like you said, is a regime person.
Yeah.
So if people within the regime are quote and unquote misbehaving, it becomes very difficult for him to act.
To touch them. Yeah.
So if the constitution states that the IGP is appointed by a neutral body, then he knows that whether the president is in power or not, his job is secure. Then we can be doing something. So beyond the political talk, we should also be looking at some of the laws and the way they are executed. Other than that, to just be talk.
Let's go on the phone line now and speak with Dr. Victor Doke. He is a security analyst and lecturer at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. Doc, good morning. Thank you very much indeed for your time. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. And how are you too?
I am greater than Accra, sir.
Thank God.
Great. Doc, I'm sure you must have been aware of the IGP's meeting or encounter with the two major political parties following the petition and counter-petition that was brought before him in respect of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the former president, and Mr. Brian Achampong, present Agric Minister. What are your initial thoughts about that meeting?
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity, and good morning to all listeners and their panel members. First of all, I think the IGP heeded to the call of CSOs and individuals on having to act. Now, for me, my initial thoughts were he is trying to put in preventive mechanisms at the early stages, which is not very bad. Now, when you have situations like this where political parties or personalities start spewing words that can cause violence, you need to act. Now, he has gone by the books with regards to prevention, and he has initiated a first step, that is to meet the parties, and that is most of us are called to organize a sort of a forum and then point out or issue our directives. And he went even further. The statement that came out, he's issued pointers like the secretariat, which is in the right direction.
Right.
So henceforth, you have a secretariat which will do a lot. Now, this secretariat would have to come up with more prevention measures, not just meeting on a one term. It has to be regular. And then you institute strict measures. So whoever in either political parties makes any sort of statement that would cause chaos, you can arrest, because no one is above the law. Whether it's an ex-president or whatever, you can act, because then you have initiated some sort of decorum by instituting prevention measures. So I think the first step, he has taken it right, and subsequently we hope that you have more meetings such as these to update.
Well, then there comes the question of trust, because we know how IGP, CDS, Chief Fire Officers, Director General of Prisons, and other security institutions are appointed in this country. And you can clearly tell from the tone of some key political actors that trust is an issue. Will this settle the dust on that matter?
Honestly speaking, I think it will. Because let's not forget, any appointee has a moral obligation. You understand? You're not just serving. In some sense, the person who appointed you,
right,
you have an obligation towards the country, the institution you are representing. And let's not forget, it's international. You're not just doing it for Mother Ghana. You may be called one day to head a UN section or whatever, and it's all part of why you should uphold your moral standards. And looking at situations now, I think the IG or any other political appointees have, in this way, with regards to the IG, has started well. I think he will go on to do better. Now, with this initiative, I only pray and hope and recommend that it should be subsequent, not just one time. And then you make out the laws, state the laws very clear, so that you can go forward. It is a very good initiative. It is not too late to start these kind of processes. And we have the eminent people also coming on board. Then you can now start with a peace accord, you get ideas, and going forward, 2024, we'll have a very peaceful election.
Well, Doc, if you talk about peace accord and eminent people in the country speaking, I remember vividly His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei II, who spent his own resources, organized that peace treaty or peace accord for all the presidential candidates, for them to, make a declaration of peace that they will abide by. That's Peace Pact. During that regime, the police offered the political parties, and specifically their presidential candidates, guards from the police, guards of their choice. We still found them going in for their vigilantes or the boys, the macho men who follow them around. That clearly is the police saying one thing, they saying one thing with their mouth before the whole of Ghana under the auspices of 2482, and then they going ahead to still go for their boys while they had police guards following them. What do you say to that?
Well, with regards to this trust issue, vigilantism, when the issue about vigilantism, I remember, came up, the discussions. Now, there were recommendations, but unfortunately, if not all has been implemented, then we have not done right. Now, the issue of vigilantism, we have to tackle it. Why so? Now, if the police deem fit that they have to provide their men, we can only trust them. Now, irrespective, there has to be some flexibility. They have to, the parties will now have to probably say, okay, I want this personality, which will not be bad.
Well,
an agreement.
Doc, I remember on that occasion, IGP John Kudalo gave the parties the opportunity to pick the officers they wanted, they were comfortable with. So that was given to them. That opportunity was given to them.
So
but they still went ahead to bring their boys.
Well, now that provides a sort of directive. Now, what the current IGP can do is, if that proposal comes to board on the table, then what we can do is to enforce regulations with regards to what the law says with vigilantism. And I know and believe that Dr. Dampare can't stand on his feet and say that he's not going to allow. Now, any party that goes ahead to issue or bring in vigilantism, he has the right, fair law, to arrest them. And we are all going to back that because we need law and order. So if you come and then we propose that we are giving you the flexibility to choose as the personnel you want, and you have done that, you have no right then to bring in your vigilantes, because it's these vigilantes who cause chaos, and we all know it. So I think this issue would now have to give them an opportunity to come out with more suggestions on the way forward with regards to vigilantism, because we've not fully dealt with vigilantism so far as I know.
Now, leaving the domain of mistrust, we come to the stakes that are high for the 2024 elections. We do know that the campaigns usually start right after the next election or the last election, and people actually go very frontal. We've seen that right from 2021 up until now, in spite of our economic situation. So the stakes are high for 2024. Do you think that the parties, with all the concerns and the talks around, President says, I want to hand over to somebody from my party. John Mahama says, we will do this boot for boot. He's got both parties written to support what their people have said. Do you think that we will have a free and fair election, given the hard stance that both of them have taken?
Well, it's unfortunate these statements are coming in from, prominent people in the country. However, it sends some kind of message to followers especially. We have radical members who are part of these parties. Unfortunately, now these statements will be embedded psychologically. Now, whatever they will do in terms of violence or whatever to rig the elections, they will do it so they can stay in power. Now, however, if you can only wish that you hand over power to your colleagues or whatever, but to come out on a political platform, national TV or whatever, to say you want to do so and so, it is so not good for the peace and security of this country. Now, you have people in this country who are willing, with regards to following their opponent, and do whatever it takes for their opponents to either clinch onto power or to come into power. Now, the stakes are high because of the dimension, the dynamics. The MPP wanting to hand over power to their own, the NDC wanting to come back, looking at what happened in 2020. So we can only plead. Now, state agencies, CSOs, and these political personalities also, whatever statement you come to the platform to make has to be some, you have to think about the welfare, the security, and peace of the country. Not just make any statement thinking you are bold or whatever, which will cause chaos in 2024. We cannot have that. And I only employ that the security services will now be firm with regards to arresting whoever they have to, whoever flouts the law, irrespective of who appointed who. I mean, you just have to use the law. Let the law be applied. Other than that, from now till next year is very critical. People are watching. The youth are watching. Let's not forget the unemployment situation that poses a threat to the democracy of this country. We cannot have that. Now, any political atmosphere which is charged like this has a tendency to cause chaos if you don't handle it well, if we don't implement prevention measures well. We need to think and implement prevention measures so we do not have chaos.
Doc, you talk about the youth, and I've read the national security document. The youth bulge is mentioned there, 2014 survey, baseline survey that was done and all of that. And we appreciate the dangers that could bring if there's an explosion. However, it is the young people who will listen to these key political actors. Suffice to say that these key political actors will not be everywhere on election day. So, for example, if Brian Champon says that whatever it takes, whatever it has to take for us to retain power, we will do it. Lord Comey has said that he will not break the 8, but he has power. He will not hand it over. This is the director of the operations at the presidency. John Mahama, same. Sami Jemfi is on record to have said that, look, we are looking at you, security people, and those of you who are playing to the party gallery, we will deal with you when we come back because your employment will be coterminous with this. But the baseline is that these political actors, having made these statements, and with all the following that they have, hero worship, bandwagon, and everything, will not be there on election day. How does the meeting with the IGP and the MPP and the NDC solve this matter so it drills down and then clears the mind of the youth?
Well, the meeting is, as I said, in a good direction. Now, these reps from political parties who attended the meeting may have known how the IGP is serious or the police hierarchy is serious with their words. Now, for the IGP to implement or start this process early, then it should tell those prominent political personalities that he's not joking. Now, in as much as he has been appointed by the current government, he has an obligation, as I stated earlier on. Now, he's human. He wouldn't want anything to go bad. You understand? So now, the message has been sent clearly. A statement has been issued. And as I said earlier on, going forward, now, any of these personalities in the past, they said all what they had to say. That is okay. Now, we have a process going on. A secretariat, when it's established, will deal with all these kind of issues. So that when you flout it, you don't say you are being manhandled or witch-hunted. You know the law. Either MPP or NDC, whoever goes against it should be arrested and be dealt with. That's why we only have to employ that these personalities will learn from this meeting and the peace calls that have been issued, that when they are speaking on the platform, they should have decorum and use words that would appeal than cause chaos.
Doc, we do know that somebody will say it's easier said than done because the IGP reports to the Interior Minister. The Interior Minister would report to the chairman of his council, the vice president, and onward to the president, who is the commander-in-chief and the head of national security. The IGP, can the IGP say no to the president or the vice president or even the Interior Minister if they ask him on election day to do A, B, C, and D?
You know, I'm putting myself in the shoes of the IGP. Now, as a citizen, first of all, before an IGP, and as a man who has moral standards, I will say no when I have to say no. Looking at the situation and the aftermath effects, he has a lot of experience, let's not forget. Now, internationally, nationally, so if something or I've been given an order or do something which is not in the right direction, the IGP will say no. Or whoever it is would have to say no.
And you believe that this answer of no will be possible on election day?
Yes, my brother. It is possible. It is possible. I mean, I'm very optimistic here that the security heads and the couples, etc., whoever they are, now, irrespective of who has appointed them, now it's a call to serve your country, serve your people, not the political parties who appointed you. Yes, in the past you have all these kind of things, and people sort of like express mistrust when it comes to elections and so on and so forth. Now, going forward, this is what we have to ensure. We also have an obligation, TSOs, individuals, the prominent men and women. Let's not just sit down for things now to get way out of hand before we start calling on these state security agencies to act. It doesn't order well. Immediately we see something, the media, whatever, let's be vocal about it, because we all have the responsibility. So if we are vocal, then those who have been appointed will not see the need to also act. Otherwise, when we sit aloof, then they also sit aloof. Now, we have to check them, whilst they also check us. But above all, the law will check all of us.
Do you think anything will change if we altered or re-looked at the process of getting our IGPs, our CDS, Chief Officer, Director General of Prisons, Comptroller General of Immigration, and all those positions, and even for those others that have to be authorized from the Jubilee House or the Flagstaff House, whichever it is, from the rank of Lieutenant Colonel all the way up, ADP, ACP, all the way up. Do you think we need to change the structure for it so it doesn't lie just in the hand of the president to take that decision?
Yes, honestly speaking, I wish there would be a procedure or mechanism to change all these so that you can have independent institutions, independent processes, so that you wouldn't have the president appointing all these people. I strongly wish. And then, when it comes to that, it means the issue about the constitution will have to be altered, because then the president has the power to appoint. So this is what we have to look at going forward.
Dr. Doke, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you very much.
We're grateful. Brother. And that's Dr. Doke of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. He says, I saw William smiling at some point. Listen, I'm coming, William. Hold on for me.
Police shall be appointed by the president, acting in consultation with the Council of State. Who are the Council of State? Who appointed them? Where is their loyalty? Don't answer. Keep it to yourselves.
3FM.
Now, the Inspector General of Police shall be head of the police service. They shall be subject to the provision of the article and to the control and direction of the police council. Who is the police council? Headed by the vice president, who is also a party member and a member of the government. What kind of advice do you expect from him? Now, the third one, subject to the provision of the Constitution, the power to appoint persons to hold or to act in an office in the police service shall vest in the president. Are you getting the point? Now, if it is the president, what else do you expect? Acting in accordance with the advice of the police council. Who is the police council? You know. Now, I just want to go to the police council
Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
What I'm really talking about. All right. Now, this is the composition of the police council in that. The vice president is a party man. It doesn't matter whether it's MPP or NDC. This is what we have given us, and this is what we work with. Now, the minister responsible for internal affairs, who is he? He's a party man. Then you have the Inspector General of Police appointed by the president. The president can dismiss him at any point in time, and therefore his loyalty is partial. It doesn't matter whether he was appointed by MPP or NDC. His loyalty is divided. Because he can be appointed today and dismissed tomorrow. And the worst scenario is when he is appointed to be acting capacity. it means I'm watching you. That is what it means. Now, the Attorney General is a party man. Then you have a lawyer nominated that one again, a representative of police, very well. 2 members of the police service appointed by the president. So who is that? Those people. Once they are appointed by the president, you know where they are coming from. Then 2 other members appointed by the president. So the whole composition of the police council is the president. And it's the party.
3FM.
Why would you give us this and think that we should be professional? You cannot. There's no way you can have a professional police service. It is party politics. And that is why we have become a chess in the hands of the government. Whether it's MPP or NDC, we are chess in their hands. And they are playing political games. That is why no party in opposition can trust the government, can trust the police. Because of what you do with us. And so once you move into opposition, you are scared that the same thing you do with us, the other party will do with us. So there is a need for constitutional amendments. And I propose that if we really want a long-term solution to this vigilantism, one major thing is that the president must be appointed for a fixed, the IGP must be appointed for a fixed term with approval of Parliament to exercise independent control. There's a need for an independent police service commission to replace the current police council. And grounds upon which an IGP can be removed should be spelled out so that the IGP's removal from office cannot be based on the whims and caprices of appointing authority.
That's ACP Dr. Ben Agojo. He used to be the Director of Transformation Programs Office, Ghana Police Service.
And you know why the system blew up?
No.
Because what was saying was very explosive.
It was explosive. So.
And where is the man now?
The man is standing trial. They say he tried to do
I said, where is he now? I didn't ask what is happening to the man.
I said,
where is the man now?
I mean, I'm giving you where he is now. Say the man tried to do a coup. But what he said there,
we have learned from history
that we don't learn from history.
Basa. This Charlie, talking we are talking.
Charlie, it's the same talk. It's the same talk. And you see, he put it just like Dr. Doke. He put it just the way. You know? Look, the mistrust is there because when Helen comes into power, Helen does things with them. So when Helen goes into opposition, she's scared that William, who is now in power, will do the things that she did with them. And it's a matter of loyalty.
Exactly.
That's the point I was making.
I need to change this.
That's the point I'm making. Even our constitution tells us that the sitting president, when he commits an offense, cannot be touched and after some years.
Indemnity clause beside.
I mean, no. Besides that one, there's a
about 3 or 4 years or so.
But we know that President Trump is standing trial.
Yes.
How many years has he been out of office? If you go to the Asian countries, once you are there, if you mess up, they catch you and jail you straight.
Yes.
Yep.
In South Korea, the woman who was prime minister,
they will finish you.
Yeah.
We've put everything. We know what to do, but we've learned from history that
we do not learn from history to do what is good. Anyway, let's take a quick break. This is Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. It's 26 minutes after 8 here, and we will go to Tamale when we return. Ghanasco is on our radar. I told you that we will have that conversation during Johnny's Bites, but just chew on what the former Director Transformation Programs Office, Ghana Police Service, ACP, Dr. Ben Agojo, what he said, what Dr. Doke has said, what William has said, what I've said, what Helen has said. You put all together, and when we activate the phone lines, you tell us what you think. We'll see you after the break.
So the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. My name is Diana Hamilton, VGMA Artist of the Year 2021 and Brand Ambassador of Awake Purified Drinking Water. I am super excited to partner with Ghana's first charity-driven water to give back to our communities. Awake is a brand that makes a difference. We impact the world around us. That is why for every bottle of Awake water you buy, an amount is donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. Yes, every time you quench your thirst with a refreshing bottle of Awake? You're helping contribute to save lives. So keep drinking Awake Purified Drinking Water and let's continue making a difference. Awake Water, one for life. Supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
Fortune rice. It needs just a little water. The green stone stick and the aroma and taste are delicious. Fortune rice, always on point, just like mom.
Now introducing Fortune Emupa, your tasty Ghana rice for all your rice meals.
This advert is FDA approved.
Just like mom.
Usika semen koyana. Quick credit sia say. Sika pe ennafum. Intina yabasa ye bechecha wo yam bosia bonche shayan ho. Wutumi bobosia edifi asia ye fee 1,500 Ghana cedis. Edeko. Na nia wo hia ne wo national ID card. Wo hia sa wo betu susu. Wo hia awowa. Yen jisike bia nto ho. Wo nsanso hia se. Wo ne yen bebue futuo bia. Quick credit wo homao. Say ye dwana wo pese wudi. Ana wo pese wo she ejuma for frase. Ana say ye school fees. Ana po ye. Wo sumi ejuma ye phone so ye wo bi mamo. Nemom kai say ye mobosua wo internet so. Afen so omantika krobia batang. Bank of Ghana and sa wo jumedie yimu. Enti tutumri kana freyen wo 0302 200 390. Ana 0596 920 833. Quick credits. London made simple. Kai said, "Media yin shishaye kakra wo ho."
Radio Development Show Host of the Year 2016-2017.
And the winner is John Hughes. Check.
Hi, my name is Johnnie Hughes, your community rights advocate, and I'm still on the quest to bring smiles into your communities with Community Connect on 3FM 92.7. Join me this and every Friday morning at 9 a.m. right here on 3FM, and together we will solve the problems bothering your communities.
I know your program is a program that always get a result. Myself, I'm a witness to that.
What can we do to help your community today in terms of education, health, sanitation, security, and all the issues in between from your community's perspective? Tune in to Community Connect every Friday morning at 9 a.m. as we get interactive live on radio and on Twitter at 3FM 927 and on Facebook at 3FM 92.7. Community Connect, helping solve your community problems.
There is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be on the run. Oh, there is fire on the mountain top, and no one is running. I wake up in the morning, tell you what I see on my TV screen. I see the blood of an innocent child, and everybody's watching. Now I'm looking out my window.
to see Yankwala Anwa. He may not be in power. To see Yankwala Anwa be very useful. But in the coming years, see, she say, near me, name people for so eba, yes, you're free, Nanado, so no, eba, to us, so. Minia, yen fa baton, yen handy, Usain Bolt to baton. On French, me kuzibu afonsamu, Mary.
Rebecca Tyson Gaines.
Very, very, very good. Edi kwasa Nanado kase, my handy over, na me diama, John Mama. I would say, John Mama, you are wasting Ghanaians' time. A huge insult. A 10-year cassia. Now you are how cassia. How the Amayaniana.
There is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be on the run. Oh, there is fire on the mountain top, and no one is running. I wake up in the morning, tell you what I see on my TV screen. I see the blood of an innocent child, and everybody's watching. Now I'm looking out my window, and what do I see? I see an army of a soldier man marching across the street. Hey, hey, Mr. Soldier Man, tomorrow is the day you go to war. Boy, you are fighting for another man's cause, and you don't even know him. Ooh, what did it say to make you so blind to your conscience and reason?
For somebody to say that students are using them as dormitories could not be true. It's unfounded because the space in between those cubicles cannot even permit a bed or a mattress to be laid, let alone to be used as a dormitory. But there were other positive things that the reporter could have reported on.
And that's the voice of the regional minister of the Northern Region. It's joining us now on the Zoom, Alhaji Shani Al-Hassan Shaibu. Honorable, good morning and thank you very much indeed for your time. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning.
And how are you doing this morning?
Doing well.
What do you know as the true state of affairs at Ghanasco?
Can you come clear?
Well, we do know what's happening in Ghanasco. There have been a viral video that you said is staged and students are not sleeping in toilets and all of that. And I'm asking you, because you made an emphatic statement, I'm asking you, what do you know to be the true state of affairs at Ghanasco?
Thank you very much for having me, and good morning to your listeners and viewers. What I know to be the true state of the story that has gone viral is that of mischief. Because when the video went viral, I took time yesterday to visit the place, the school, because Ghanasco happens to be my school, my former school. So I was surprised to hear something of that nature happening in Ghanasco, because I have never seen that in Ghanasco, and I didn't expect that to be Ghanasco to be in the news for all the bad reasons. I took a visit to the school to verify for myself and to be sure that what I was hearing was true or either not true. When I got to Ghanasco, I realized that it wasn't true. And that was the reason why I made the statement that I made.
Now, is it your opinion, like the GES said, that Ghanasco indeed has excess capacity to be able to admit well over 300 more students? Is that your opinion too when you went to the school?
Yes, that's my opinion, because I visited the newly finished, completed dormitory block that is not even in use. I am aware Ghanasco made a request for 1,700 students during this academic year for admissions. They were given only 1,400. So there is even excess dormitory capacity that would still hold about 300 more students, and it is verifiable. So for somebody to report that people were sleeping in bathrooms or in toilets couldn't have been founded on the basis of what I saw yesterday when I went there.
Those new facilities you talk about, have they been opened for use?
They have all been commissioned. Yes, there are 2 new toilets that have been built that has not yet been opened because they have not yet connected water into it. But as for the dormitory block, it's ready for use.
I'm asking, did you find students occupying it?
The school is even on holidays now. It is yesterday that the school was reopened for students to come in. And the school hadn't opened at the time that we had gone in yet. School hadn't resumed.
But sir, we do know that we're running a double track, green track and gold track and all of that. So the whole school couldn't have gone home. There obviously would have to be some of the students in the school, correct?
That is what I'm saying. Ghanasco is fortunate not to even run the track system again because Ghanasco has adequate facilities now to run a single track. The skeleton students that were on campus were the final year students, some of whom didn't go home, decided to stay back. Those were the few students that you would find on the campus. But Ghanasco is more than ready to even run the single track. And gradually, Ghanasco is winning itself from the double track system because of the provision of extra classrooms and extra dormitory blocks.
You are the boss of the Regional Security Council. You say this viral video was staged. Has your security and intelligence been able to tell you who staged it and why they did that?
That is the second leg of my duty as a regional minister. After paying the visit to the place, the next stage is for me to make sure that this person is invited and probably to be asked some few questions about why he decided to do that when he knows that is not the case.
Do we know this person as we speak?
I don't know him. He describes himself as working for the water board. I have always had meetings with the water board, and I'm yet to identify him.
And your security told you that this was staged and that they know the individual and that he will be invited very soon. Is that correct?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm yet to call a meeting today. After I left the school around 1 p.m. yesterday, between 1 and 2 p.m. yesterday. And that is exactly what I'm going to, the next step that I'm going to take. The interesting thing is that your reporters and other house reporters were all there, and they saw what we saw in the school.
Is it correct that open defecation is also happening at Ghanasco? Is that correct?
That I can't tell because I haven't reported on that.
There was a video to that effect showing open defecation. In fact, the young man in the video said that they eased themselves outside, and there are videos to show that fecal matter was on some portion of the compound of Ghanasco. Did it come to your attention?
Well, I can't dispute that, and I can't confirm that until I have done a research on that. What I know is that Ghanasco is in the middle of a huge community called Kuko. There are several attempts at completing a wall that houses Ghanasco, which have been resisted by the people of Kuko. Could it be that the people come in from Kuko to do those things? Could it be that there are students who engage in this? That is a question that I'm yet to verify. But I know Ghanasco sits in the middle of a huge community called Kuku. And I am very much aware also that students, a wall was being constructed and was being resisted by the people of Kuku, who say if the wall is completed, they can't have access to their community from that southern gate, southern part of the school.
Minister, you mentioned that Ghanasco even has the capacity to run a single track. Care to run us through the facilities that are available to be able to make them competent enough to run a single track when the government is running double track all across the country?
3FM Sunrise.
If you care to know, you know that since the advent of the double track system, government has not rested on its oars. It has continuously provided extra classroom blocks, extra dormitory blocks, dining halls, assembly halls, to all the institutions that we find ourselves in. Fortunately, Ghanasco has been one of the beneficiaries of these facilities. And that is exactly why I mean by saying Ghanasco is more than competent to run a single track system, because of what I have observed, sitting from where I am. Yesterday was an eye-opener when I went there. Took time to visit that newly constructed dormitory block that can house about 300 to 400 students.
You made a statement suggesting that this was staged at the time when the Ghana Education Service had asked the headmaster and senior housemaster to proceed to stay aside while investigations continue for 2 weeks under the auspices of the regional director of education and to report to them. Were you not jumping the gun when you said that this was staged?
I don't have the capacity to truncate the minister's decision or the director general's decision to ask the staff of the GES to step up. I was only commenting on what I had gone to see, and I saw that it was impossible and it couldn't have been true.
Could we not have waited for the 2 weeks to have elapsed, because now education stakeholders and watchers like Peter Party Auntie is saying that this investigation will go nowhere?
With him. And he also saw for himself. That is not to say that I was trying to tell him what to do or what not to do. But he went around with me and he saw it. The other fact is that I didn't even know the committee had arrived. I just went there in my capacity as the regional minister to make sure that what I was hearing was either true or false, only to meet him there. So when I got there, they were already on the grounds with the press. I didn't go.
3FM Sunrise.
Do you think that asking the headmaster? Hello, sir.
3FM Sunrise.
Hello, Alaji. Hello, Honorable. Well, we don't have him. Hello, Alaji. Well, we're having a conversation with Alaji Sani Alhassan Shaibu, who's the Northern Regional Minister, and this is in respect of the issues happening at Ghanasco. Guys, so far, the Minister has been giving us some answers. I have some more questions on my mind to put to him regarding this particular matter, but so far, this is what he has said.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. Very quiet submissions, very temperament, solid. You know, he didn't come with any fighting spirit. He's a politician.
With any Simon or Simon, I haven't mentioned it. I'm mentioning it. Yeah, I'm mentioning it. Yeah. I'm mentioning, but the man climbed up.
Master, you let me make my statement.
No,
why do you put someone inside?
You don't like.
I'm cooking my life. You are putting someone.
You don't like someone.
No, but I mean,
please go ahead.
You see, the issue is delicate. So I like the way he's going about it.
Yeah.
Investigations
cool head
must be conducted. And I sitting here, having been there, I've just seen the video, I've listened to who I have to listen to. But reporters, we all know our job.
Okay, so Minister is back on. Let's speak with him. Honorable, welcome back and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Do you think that asking the headmaster and senior housemaster to step aside for 2 weeks is fair?
Oh yeah, it's fair, because in every investigations, people must step aside for the one who has been assigned the job to do his job without any interference. I support it entirely.
But then again, you know that the headmaster and senior housemaster work to a certain metro director, municipal, district, regional director, and even a director general. So they asking them to step aside alone, something that, well, you should list the whole team and ask them to step aside as well, so that investigations can continue.
I do not think that is fair, because this is an institution that is being managed by a group of people directly, and the direct responsibility of managing that school goes to the headmaster and the senior housemaster. If you go on the tangent that you are going, it means myself as the regional minister too must have to step aside, because I oversee all these institutions, and I think that the onus is always on the headmaster and the senior housemaster to be directly responsible for what happens in the day-to-day running of the institution. So I see it's fair. And after the investigations, the conclusions we draw from this would make a determination as to what happens to the administrators of the school.
My understanding is that the headmaster has been at post for only 6 months, and this situation has pertained for more than the tenure that he has been there as headmaster. So again, I come to you. Is it fair for him to be at post for 6 months, and for a matter that old students say has been on there for many years, to be heaped on his head and that of the senior housemaster?
Well, that's what it comes back to what I just said.
That he should be held accountable for it. Hello, sir.
3FM Sunrise.
Well, the Zoom is frozen again. Yeah, Alaji, okay.
You accept responsibility.
But Alaji, we do know that headmasters and senior housemasters do not in any way provide accommodation. They only allocate what has been provided to them.
Yes. Because you are working under a system.
Right.
And you only work with what the system is.
Right.
So asking them to step aside, or even him to step aside after 6 months is in order. Because if you accept responsibility of an institution, it doesn't matter whether you came in yesterday or you came in last year or 10 years ago. Because before you stepped in, you should have known the challenges that would be there for you to work with, and the benefits that come with the job.
But Alaji, again, the question is, the headmaster and the senior housemaster do not provide accommodation. They allocate what is provided to them. You have told us that, for example, there are 2 toilet facilities that have not yet been commissioned. Water has not been connected to it. How is that his fault?
3FM Sunrise.
I haven't assigned that to him, because I know that there are other old toilets that are.
Three FM Sunrise. 3FM. Start your day with Sunrise on 92.7 3FM. 3FM Sunrise.
These new facilities will only come to ease the burden on the old ones that have been in existence. It doesn't mean that we didn't have those facilities in the school. I've told you that I'm an old student of Ghana Senior High School myself.
Right.
When I was in Ghana Senior High School in 1982, the school was not challenged like we have now, because the numbers in the school were not up to the numbers that we have now. An increase in enrollment means there should be a commensurate increase in the facilities of the school. And that is exactly what government is doing.
Do you smell...
3FM Sunrise.
Alaji, do you smell political machination?
Hello?
Alaji, do you smell political machination?
3FM Sunrise.
Do you see political hands around the situation?
Well, I as for mischief, you cannot tell. What's
3FM Sunrise.
Well, Christopher Mwako has just also joined us on the phone, on Zoom, and Florence Kuchi, she's the Metro Health Director of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Chris, welcome. Florence, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, John.
Great. Alaji's Zoom seems to be having a bit of a problem. When we reconnect, we will continue with him. But you were in the meeting, Chris, yesterday. You covered it. What did you find?
Johnny, it's difficult hearing you.
I'm asking that yesterday you were at Ghanasco. What did you find? Who was in the meeting, for example?
I can hardly hear you, but if it's about my presence in the school, then it has to do with the fact that, yes, Johnny, come again.
Can you hear me now?
No, I still cannot hear you because it's breaking.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it better? Chris, is it better? Hello, Chris? Technology.
3FM Sunrise.
And this is 3FM 92.7. We're bringing you some update on the Ghanasco Debacle. Try and connect with them on phone line so that we can have... let me give it another try and see if it works now. Alaji, welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us again.
I'm sorry for the network.
Right. We apologize also on to our listeners. Alaji, I asked if you smell political machination around all of what is happening. Alaji, can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Well, let's try the phone lines then. 6. What do you say? What do you say so far?
Yes, I think the investigations, we have to wait for the outcome of the investigations. Right. Because the toilet facility, if it's a toilet facility that is used, it's a very serious matter.
Right.
If it's disused, what were the students doing there? Were they just keeping their staff there? Were they actually sleeping in the middle
on the corridor
of the facility? You know, some toilets have the cubicles on both sides, and they have a long corridor in the middle, if you like.
But this one looks like it's just on one side.
Yeah,
there's a wall on the other side.
The school toilet I know has a long room with the cubicles on both sides, and the middle will be there.
But what is in the video is just one side.
Yes,
so the cubicles on one side, and there's a small corridor, and then the wall is on one side.
Are they actually sleeping there? Are they on vacation? Have they come back to the campus as boys to do their own thing? You know, because secondary school, you know, boys do.
And they refuse to go home
and stuff like that. So I don't think people should be categorical in their statements on the matter when the investigations are underway. So for me, that's where I stand. But I really appreciate the way the minister has gone about it. He hasn't been too hard as a politician on the matter. He has said what he has to say, except that I wish he had allowed the processes to go on before making those categorical statements. Yeah.
Well, as an old student, you
yes, I was going to say the ties to the school as well. But he also talks about what's going on in the community. I think this is an opportunity to highlight. Talks about the wall and other residents going in there and doing you know, other stuff.
Okay,
there.
let's connect with Christopher Mwako, our Savannah and Northern Regional correspondent on the phone line. Zoom is not working, is not behaving this morning. Chris, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, Johnny. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear now, Chris. Yesterday, you were in a meeting at Ghanasco. First, tell us who was in the meeting.
Yes, so yesterday, a lot of stakeholders were at the Ghana Senior High School. We talk about the regional minister, who is an old student himself, the old students association from the northern region, where also at Ghanasco. Then you talk about the board of governors. You talk about the delegation from the National Education Directorate and other stakeholders who, including CHAS, the Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High Schools in the Northern Region, were all present at that said meeting. And Johnny, you know that the GES National Directorate has directed the headmaster and the senior housemaster of the school to step aside as investigations go on. And yesterday, investigations have since begun. The delegation from the GES headquarters were there to meet with these stakeholders. They went round to also see for themselves to have first-hand information as to what the reality is on the ground.
And what were the key points that were agreed on at the meeting?
Yes, so first of all, when the delegation went to the facility, they realized, according to the briefing they gave us, that the space that was in between the two cubicles was very small for students to sleep there. But opposite the facility, there are some 2 rooms, just opposite where the cubicles are. There are some 2 separate rooms that some prefects of the Cabral and Banzaba House were using. Now, according to them, it means that those students were with the prefects who were at that particular block, and that they had gone there because they had packed their school items like the chalkboards, the bags, the buckets, and all those stuff. And it isn't that, according to them, it isn't that there is no space at that particular dormitory that compelled the students to go there, but it is just that the students wanted a safer ground to keep their items. That's why they were there. So they agreed.
What do you mean? What do you mean safer grounds?
Yes, according to them, it means that when these students are going on vacation, because some of them are from far places like Accra, Kumasi, and other areas, they would want, and they anticipate that they may not be reporting early. So they keep these items at that particular place, such that when they report, they come, and because the prefects are there, no one can break into that area and also break into their chop boxes and their bags to pick their items. That was the explanation given to us. And that when they resume, some of them still will want to keep those items there, but they don't sleep there. That was the explanation given to us.
And this explanation came from whom?
This explanation came from the senior housemaster who has been interdicted. It came from the housemaster himself, the Cabral housemaster himself, where this incident happened. It came from old students who even told us that, for instance, the regional minister told us that when he was in Ghanasco somewhere 1982 or so, he equally used that place because since the construction of the facility, it hasn't been put to the purpose for which it was constructed, to serve as toilet facility. So students have also always kept their items there for safety. So he equally did that while he was in Ghanasco. And those were some of the people who spoke to us about the reasons why they were keeping those items there.
Now, the question I want to ask you is that per our training as journalists, we are also supposed to observe, check, cross-check, and check again. What did you see beyond the narrative that has been served to you by old students, minister, what they call, all the stakeholders that you met? What did you also see?
Yes, so, Jordi, as of yesterday, I saw that those particular cubicles that served as toilet and at the same time accommodation space, if it is that it's where the students sleep, I will say that no mattress can lie in between those cubicles because they are very tiny cubicles. And if you look at the length, a grown-up person like 15, 16, like the guy speaking, the student speaking in that video cannot lie within that particular stretch where the cubicles are. But if it is that, probably management has converted the place into a dormitory space, and that the students are forced. Sometimes they are forced because they don't have an option. They are forced to sleep there. Well, that I cannot tell. But what I saw yesterday, no mattress can lie in between that space.
And again, I'm sure you interacted with some of the students who were on campus. Were there any at all?
Yes. So what I can say is that yesterday was the day that the second years and the third years were expected in school. You know, they ran this transitional track. These people go, then when they are on break, these other people come in. So yesterday was the day that they were supposed to report. Only 4 people had reported as at the time I visited the school. And because of the situation, they were even afraid to get closer to me, even though I tried speaking with them. They were afraid to get closer to me. But, Johnny, one thing I want to add is that there hasn't been any toilet seat fixed there because all the holes have been closed. And even the space, if an adult, it will be difficult for an adult to squat there and try to ease himself, even if the place was in use.
Did you get a sense that the school, Ghanasco, is running the double track system for free SHS? Yes.
Since 2018, Ghanasco was part of the schools that were designated to run the double track. And even as we speak, they are still running that transitional track. First years are vacated and they are home. And so yesterday, second years and third years were expected to start reporting to campus. However, when it comes to accommodation, yesterday I was taken to a 2-story facility that used to serve as Nkrumah and Gbewa House. And there is another floor that is empty, and because it's empty, school authorities have converted that place to a classroom facility. Now, those 2 blocks were standing empty, and it's empty because they had moved the students to a new facility that has been constructed by Get Fund. And so that facility constructed by Get Fund, the students are there.
But the minister just told us that, the school has the capacity to run a single track, not a double track. You are telling us that you get a sense that the school is running a double track and has since done that since 2018. That's a bit of a Jana 1, Jana 2 story. You are...
Yes, the senior house must me yesterday that the school is running a track. So first years are home, Easter break. You know that the Education Ministry or the GES asked them to stay till June. So the first years are home as we speak. Yesterday, second years and third years are expected to start reporting. So they have since started reporting. So if the minister is saying it's a single track or they can run a single track, but as we speak now, they are not running a single track. Running the transitional track.
Okay, hold the line. Let me speak with Osman Mubarak Abu. He's the National Vice Chairman of the Old Students Association of Ghanasco. Good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, good morning, Johnny.
You told me yesterday that there was going to be a meeting, and indeed a meeting happened. Were you satisfied with the key points that were agreed at the meeting?
One thing that I was excited, or we were excited by all students, was that all the key stakeholders were part of this particular meeting, i.e. the Northern Regional Minister, a representative of the Director General, Charles, all students, the board, ETA, and some staff of the school. So that is one thing that as all students we were excited, because we didn't want it to look like it was a one-sided, engagement. And when we visited the site, which we are familiar with, we were satisfied that the description did not meet what happened on the ground. So we knew of this particular what they call it a cubicle, but we are not sure whether the reporter was actually talking about this or he was talking about something else.
Okay, you knew about. Hold on for me, Mubarak. You knew about this cubicle that was shown in the viral video. Is that what you're saying?
Look, any student that passed through Ghanasco and happened to have visited Kawra Banzara knew that there were chemicals of that nature in the school, not used as what do you call it, housing for the students, but used for the purpose of what do you call it, chop boxes, and sometimes students they are usually hide and seek. So we were satisfied that that is not the actual issue on the ground. Because I was alarmed when I first, what they call it, cited that particular news item.
Right. Now,
but upon second thought, I said, okay, let's give the benefit of the doubt so that we all get to the ground, verify for ourselves, and thankfully that is not, it doesn't reflect the reporter.
Does your school have the capacity to comfortably house all the students that have been given to them from the quarters of the GES?
To the best of my knowledge, I have been part of activities and programs of Ghanasco. Anytime there's a program, they invite the national executives, and normally I represent the president. There hasn't been any instance the school management will complain about lack of dormitories for students. What I can remember is the issue of inadequate classroom, which was sorted out. But the issue of inadequate what they call it, dormitories for students has never been an issue. As we speak now, and you can, I'm sure a case was there. We have a full block unoccupied. So it will beat out.
Why is that full block not occupied?
They just constructed a new facility. It was constructed by one of Markwave. Get Farm constructed that facility, and we have to relocate the students in that old facility to that new one. So it will beat my imagination if school authorities will compel students to use those so-called toilets as hostel facilities.
I see. Now,
so in terms of hostel facilities, Ghanasco is out of that.
Okay.
We have our challenges, but not a dormitory.
I see. Does the school run a double track system?
Yes, when we visited, yes, the school is still running a double track system.
But the minister says the school doesn't run a double track system presently.
So these are technical issues. That I'm not I don't want.
No, it's not about technicality. Mubarak, hold on for me. So far we have had a nice conversation. Yeah. I'm asking a very specific question. Double track is when Form 1 is in school, Form 2 is not in school, Form 3 comes back, that kind of thing. I'm asking you if your school presently, Ghanasco as you know it, as the vice chairman of the Old Students Association, does Ghanasco run a double track system?
As of yesterday, when we went, the students were just about to report. So after yesterday, they were about to report. So the implication is they are running a double track system.
So the minister told us a few minutes ago that the school doesn't run a double track system.
And that is also a subject for investigation to confirm the statement of the minister on the ground. And your reporters have the capacity to do that.
Do you think it was fair for the headmaster who we're told has been at post for just 6 months and the housemaster to have been asked to step aside for a situation that is not their creation, per what you have explained to me?
The fact of the matter is, personally, that was my sort of confusion during the engagement. And if the deputy, if the representative of the director general is listening to this particular interview, he testified that I was not happy, and most of my colleagues were not happy, the swift nature of the interdiction. we made our position very clear that for due diligence, this suspension this suspension should have waited after the visit of the Director General, because this is somebody the school have just started engaging with, and as a matter of fact, he is one of. I'm not talking for him, but it's one of the finest what they call headmasters in the region. And as students, we have just started engaging him to see how best we can fix major issues affecting students and school administration. So we're thinking that yes, nobody is happy. As all students, we are the direct what they call it beneficial of the institution. We're not happy, and as government too, I know government for political agencies so equally was not happy too. So we're expecting that they would have waited to so that at least when they are issuing statements, all stakeholders will accept the statement. But it was just unfortunate that this statement came earlier before their fact finding. So in the event that the headmaster and the senior housemaster, the two are exonerated, you can imagine the implication on the headmaster and the senior housemaster. These are very fine gentlemen, very hardworking, and it's unfortunate that this has happened to them. So we made it categorical that we are waiting to see how the reports will come out.
Do you think the investigation will go anywhere?
Well, yeah, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt so that we will all subject the reports to the necessary scrutiny.
Did you, for example, speak with the headmaster and the housemaster yesterday?
Yes, on Sunday I engaged with the headmaster to verify the authenticity of the story.
Okay.
So even yesterday, I had a lot of engagement with the headmaster and the senior housemaster.
And what was their demeanor like?
Sounds they are in high spirits.
Okay.
The headmaster is in high spirits because he knew very well that he has not authorized the use of toilet facilities as a hostel. It was fine, and surprisingly, everybody applauded him for his high-spirited nature during the engagement.
Okay.
And we are just hoping that within the shortest possible time, the report will be out, and hopefully he'll be up to continue with his work. Ghanasco has produced a lot of great people for this country, and it shouldn't happen to us as old students. Even though on a lighter note, we know some people are celebrating over it, but that's fine. That's fine.
Hold the line for me. Let me quickly wrap up with Chris and come back to you. Chris, so I know that you'll be following this matter closely, but how has the Kuko community been reacting to this news that has gone viral? Quickly.
Yes. So, Johnny, before I get to that, let me put this on record. That school authorities are not denying the fact that students were not found in that supposed toilet and dormitory. What they are saying is that they did not sanction any students to be there because for them they have enough accommodation space. That is what the school authorities are saying. Right. So for the video that is out there, they are saying that it's Ghanasco. Yes, it's Ghanasco. The students are students of Ghana Senior High School in Tamale, but they did not sanction the students to be there. That is what I want to put on the record.
Right.
Now, the Kuko community, for them, they think that the school has been in the community for a very long time. And they have this loggerheads with the school because the school is trying to put up a wall to prevent the community from passing through.
Right.
And the community is also saying they will not agree. So anytime the school tries, they break it. Now, what they are saying is that they want the matter to be treated fairly so that academic work will begin, because some of them also have their children there. And now that school is reopening and this investigation, it is definitely going to affect some academic hours. So the investigation should be speedy and everything should come to normal so that the children will have the free space to go about their normal class.
Christopher Amokwa, thank you very much indeed for your time this morning on 3FM Sunrise. Mubarak, let me come back to you now and stay on the matter of the wall around the school. I'm sure you are very much aware of this matter. The minister mentioned it. Chris has mentioned it. What is the latest update on that particular one?
I think the wall issue has been an albatross on our neck as school students, school administration, and so this issue has resurrected the issue of the need for the community to reason up with the school management to complete the construction of that wall, so that at least people cannot just come in and out of the school to do whatever they like. So yesterday we agreed that we should convey an emergency meeting before the close of the week to see how best we can quicken the construction of that wall. And I think the regional minister, yesterday during the conversation, the regional minister indicated that as all students, we should try to see how best we can quicken the construction so that if there need be, the regional coordinating council will give us the needed support, even though we are trying to mobilize resources to complete that wall. That wall project is a major issue that needs to be sorted out. And I think this is the appropriate time for us to complete it so that we can secure the environment so that people cannot get in and out. I think at this particular juncture, it is important we express our appreciation to all the key stakeholders, the regional minister, the CHARS, PTA, and even the media guys, Chris and Co, for giving the school the needed attention, because they are the only people who could exonerate the headmaster and the school authorities from this particular unfortunate incident. So we will work closely to ensure that within the shortest possible time, we will invite the media guys to come and cover.
Okay.
This particular war.
Okay. Now, the minister mentioned that, for example, because there wasn't a wall around the school, what we saw in the video that went viral, patches of toilet roll, forgive me if you're having breakfast, and then the fecal matter on the ground were dropped there by people from the community because the school is not walled. Is that the situation? Do you know that to be accurate?
That is actually, I live in the Kuko community. I'm just a distance from the school. So and as all students, we have always had issues with the community, the way they get in and out, and the way they use the school's facilities. So the absence of the wall is greatly affecting the running of the school. So what the minister said was accurate. We have battled with the community. We have engaged the community leadership. We have engaged the chief. We have engaged the youth over the construction of this wall. I've been personally involved directly in the engagement. So you can imagine the confusion. I live in the community and I'm a member of the old students. So it hasn't been an easy task. But I think this is a good opportunity for us to just complete the wall. It's just about 200 or 200 meters wall that we have to complete. And I am giving you the next assurance that by close of the month or hopefully we should be executing this particular project so that at least we can also support in securing the students so that at least the unnecessary exit and entry will be avoided.
Alhaji Sani Hassan Shaibu is the Northern Regional Minister, is joining us again on the phone line. Honorable, thank you very much for rejoining us.
Thank you very much.
Great. I have checked from a correspondent, Christopher Amwaku, and also from the Vice Chairman of the Old Students Association of Ghanasco, Osman Mubarak. They both say the school presently runs a double-track system, contrary to what you said, that the school doesn't run a double-track system. They, however, agree that it has the capacity to be able to run it because of the new Get Fund facility. What do you say?
Johnny, were you listening to yourself? I said very soon the school can win itself out of the double track system because of the facilities that have been provided. I never said the school is not running a double track system. I didn't say that.
Honorable,
very soon.
Honorable, we heard you, all of us here in the studio. In fact, my colleagues.
The school very soon will win itself from running a double track system. That was what I said.
If you insist. But
I insist.
But the tapes will say well. Now did this matter that has gone so viral, blown out of proportion, some would say, take you by surprise as the father of the region?
Yes, of course, because if there are any problems in the school, I think it will be brought to my attention, because I've always had constant interactions with the authorities of the school, especially Ghanasco. That happens to be my old school. So when the headmaster went into office, he was brought and introduced to me as the new headmaster for Ghana Senior High School. And as an old student, I have had interactions with them.
And did, for example, the GES get in touch with you before putting out that press release asking the headmaster and the senior housemaster to step aside?
The interesting part of it is that I was not even in town when this thing happened, and I didn't get in touch with anybody.
But do you know if your office was contacted? You run a full office at the RCC.
That's what I'm yet to verify. But I just came in yesterday and went straight to the school. I was on tour with the chieftaincy minister of the region. When I got in yesterday, I had to go there straight. I even spoke to the education minister whilst I was in Boku on Saturday, and he told me that this was the measures that they were yet to take. But I was not officially reported to in my office because I wasn't in town. There might be a correspondence that is waiting for me in my office. I'm just on my way to the office now.
So you're saying that once you are out of the country, all communication lines cease and...
No, that's what I'm saying. If you want an official correspondence in a written form, definitely, if I'm not in office, I wouldn't know. But I'm telling you that I had a conversation with the education minister, and he told me the line of action that he intended to take.
The tone of the press release from the GES mentions words like embarrassing, should have never happened, and all of that. That should be, if you like, embarrassing for the entire region, because that's what people are talking about. And you mentioned that there are other positives that could have been spoken about, but this is what is taking center stage now. Do you feel disappointed?
Well, I do not know what you even want me to say again, because I've said it all. Because if something like that, can you imagine somebody saying that, look, when I went to his house, he was sleeping in a toilet? Because we all know what happens in a toilet. And for you to be sleeping in a toilet, it doesn't speak well of you. You either are not well, or something might be wrong with you for you to be sleeping in a toilet. So it's very embarrassing. And that is why the minister, the director general, and myself haven't taken it lightly, and we had to do all these things that we are doing. But I'm happy that a committee has been set up, and very soon the committee will come up with its findings, and we would all put this case to rest. Whether somebody was motivated by something to do this, the revelation would come. I know for sure that nothing will be swept under the carpet. Everything would lay bare and everybody would see. And I insist and say that from what I saw, I didn't see that. What I saw was that students had kept their chalk boxes, their water jerry cans and other things in that place. And they couldn't have been sleeping on the jerry cans or the chalk boxes. When I inquired, they said any time the students are leaving, this is where they keep their chalk boxes and water cans for safekeeping because they will be locked up while they are away. And when they come, they resume and they pick these things and they use them. It's a daily occurrence that they have to keep these things there because we all know that there are challenges in schools. People cannot start carrying their chalk boxes in and out of the campus. So when I'm leaving, this is where they keep those things. And the other issue was, I saw in the video that a mattress was laid in the middle of the corridor.
That's right.
It doesn't even leave space for anybody to access the cubicles that are adjacent to that mattress laid, because you can't lay a mattress in any of the cubicles because of the size of it. So they decided to lay. That is where my suspicion is. They decided to lay it in the middle, and you realize that there's not even ventilation for anybody to be able to sleep there. And I'm just wondering, even if that place is being used as a dormitory, how many people could sleep in that corridor or those cubicles? How many people?
Okay. Alhaji, we'll leave it here. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.
Great. Alhaji Sani Al Hassan Shaibu is the Northern Regional Minister. I still have on the phone line Osman Mubarak Abu as the National Vice Chairman, All Students Association of Ghanasco. You have the closing thoughts. 30 seconds. What do you say?
I think, Johnny, it is important as all students to recognize the challenges school administration, particularly mentioned Ghanasco, is going through. It's a fact that most institutions have their individual challenges, but as a matter of fact, the school has never used, and I don't think they intend to use toilet facilities for dormitories. That statement of fact should be made. And also my request to my colleague media personnel, I'm a media person, we should try as much as we can to cross-check and double cross-check what the stories, especially if it has the potential of affecting people's petitions or institutions' petitions. Kamako, the gentleman that did the story, I spoke to him. He's one of my guys. So it is important we try to be accurate, especially when we want to support a system. But when you try to create a distortion, you end up distorting the entire system. So as all students, we are happy that the story is not true, and we are ready to support the school.
The story is not true to what extent? What's the distortion here? I want to understand.
The narration that students are sleeping in a toilet facility. It's not true. And I just hope that one day when you find yourself in Tamale, we will take you to the supposed what do you call it? Toilet.
I actually saw from Kuko. I saw from Sona Fashions in Kuko. So
yes. That's my neighborhood. Anyway.
Right.
So we are happy that you have taken it up to do justice to it. We are also praying to the stakeholders, the regional minister, the director general, and the minister of education to act swiftly, so that it will bring finality to this particular issue, so that Ghanasco will bounce back to the usual Ghanasco we all attended. Also, I have to appreciate the fact that the regional minister acted swiftly in responding to this particular issue. So we are grateful that all the key stakeholders have not taken this story lightly at all. We are open for criticism. Once I would have been the first person to criticize the school authorities for using such a facility. So it's good we are all doing our part to ensure that we have a good, the best education for our children, and our brothers.
Let me ask you a final question. I said we're going to wrap up. There's a gentleman in the video that said that since they came in Form 1, that's where they've been sleeping and all of that. Do you know if he has been identified as a student of Ghanasco? Has he been found out?
that is a fact that is a student of Ghanasco, and the statement cannot be true. But that's one I try to query the school authorities to verify the authenticity of the said student, which was that he is a student. I don't made an attempt to get in touch with such a student, with that student, but unfortunately he was out of the campus, and I was told it's village. So that statement is a fact that the gentleman is a student of the.
But if he spoke untruth, then he should be penalized for that.
That is another what they call discussion that should be open after the report is released to the public.
But before the report, you and the minister are telling us that it is not true. So if it is not true, why do we have to wait for the report?
And you know the system. That's all. Let's deal with
what is the system?
Let's deal with the issue of
Mubarak. It was somebody in the video who made those comments. Now you say that those comments were not true or are not true. The minister has repeated the same thing. You both are old students of the school. This individual has been identified as a student of the school, and you are telling me that you have agreed that what he said is untrue, but we should wait for the investigation to continue.
That is the fact on the ground. The fact doesn't reflect what he said. So, and I'm appealing to listeners and your good self that let's have a discussion about the gentleman, what should happen to him, and another conversation.
I hear you, Mubarak. Thank you very much. Osman Mubarak Abu is the National Vice Chairman, All Students Association of Ghanasco, OGA. William. Johnny. Yes, sir.
Johnny.
No, Johnny. Thank you.
The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose. It will defend itself. That's according to Augustine of Hippo.
Charlie.
I'm done.
Charlie, it sounds like Mark Twain.
The truth is like a lion.
Okay.
You don't have to defend it.
Yeah.
Let it loose. It will defend itself.
It will defend itself.
Augustine of Hippo.
There's one here, it has no author. It says, never approach a bull from the front, a horse from behind, and an idiot from any direction. It will kill you. My God, we learn from history. We do not learn from history. 36 minutes after 9, 3FM 92.7. 0592928795 and 0208227290. 0592928795 and 0208227290. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh. Sami, how you doing?
Oh, I'm fine.
Great.
I'm not greater like you.
Say again.
But I'm not greater like you.
Don't worry. You
are greater than
you are septuagenarian. You have been great since.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Let me commend you on your bite. And good morning to Willie.
Thank you.
Hello to the studio. I think they're saying that who feels it knows it. I don't think the problem at the school, they know it better than the students there. They are facing the problem. I mean, they are telling us what they have been encountering, and you are telling us it's not true. Then, as I already said, the truth, it's not for you to defend the truth. Look, I think this government, I don't know what is wrong with them. It's telling you that we should wait for the outcome of the investigation. Meanwhile, they have already projected. They have already said so many things that they don't think the investigation will come out saying anything different from what they are saying. And that should not take Ghanaians for a ride. They are not fools. Two, I think, Johnny, this morning you talk about, the expose.
The gold mafia. Right.
I think this is an attempt for some kind of equalization that they are now bringing John Mama in. But I just didn't have to do with John Mama. You see, our present name keep on coupling up in any corruption matter in this country. And the president, they are not ready to clean the president. All they are doing is to muddy the water the more. Is that but the mama too has done this. That's why we need in this country. This is why we voted for them. I think this country, it's unfortunate we have gotten into the hands of some people who have no clue about how to run this nation. We are suffering.
Okay.
You are telling us that because of Ukraine and COVID, you cannot give us the issues. If even, Johnny, this IMF gives this money, and the war in Ukraine has not ended, so what happened?
Kosami, thank you very much indeed for your call this morning. We're grateful. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, Papa. Hello. Oh, yo, now who's where? Okay.
Kudos to your good work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Prophylactic, Ellen, and then Willie, all of you. I salute you.
Prophylactic.
You know, this country is something else. At the beginning of this month, administration, and now those administration, I realized that he was trying to put in some system in place whereby it will be gagging us for not talking. That is why I find it hard to believe that ASP is the Agozo.
ACP Agojo.
Yeah, was trying to tell how the system should be in place in connection with, getting IGPs and things like that. At the end of the day, when they realized that he was saying that, in fact, policing shouldn't be at the mercy of any government that comes. He was hacked. The man was hacked. But I don't want to talk about that because the case is in court.
That's right.
You understand me? The case is in court. But this goes something. You see what is happening? At least from Prepon Mansu's, the former minister under the
Professor,
Yeah. He said it. He said the whole thing is that the government, and the party something. I get to my point. So I have said number of times that if anything MPP come 2024 general election, we should kick them out. But Johnny, my request again,
Yes, I'll give you. We've made the request, so we're waiting for the response, and I'll share with you the the cylinder recirculation thing. Great.
God bless you, my brother.
Great. All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Johnny, this is Prince Henry.
Prince Henry. Kofredia, talk to me, Prince. Yeah.
Johnny, good morning once again.
Morning.
Johnny, please, my one problem that I would want you to help me solve for is our people who have worked for NAPCO and at home now are not being paid. Please, I'm leaving this in your hands.
I have spoken about it over and over again, but you know what's disappointing? The same NAPCO people have become splinter groups, and when they rally themselves, only 20 or 15, maybe 100 of them will come out and demonstrate. The rest will stay behind. They will be insulting the others on the pages. So that's what happens when you put party first, beyond your own survival. So they will deal with their own issues, because I've said some for them.
It's good. It's true. It's true.
If I'm speaking for you and you can't speak for yourself, because you are feeling the heat, I get my salary every month.
It's true. It's true. Thank you, Johnny. I am very, very saddened and disappointed in the IGP. Johnny.
Why?
Yes. You see, on this issue of Brian Champion's conversation
and John Mahama's
and General Shedu Nketia issue. My dad is in Gomua Dominasi. If my dad should make such statement, he should have been behind the bar now. If I should make those statements, I should have been invited by now. And in the Constitution, we were told, or it is very clear, that no one is above the law. We are all equal before the laws of this land. equality before the law. So what is happening? Johnny, remember a gentleman, one of the conscious deputy youth organizer in Ashanti region, made some reckless statements.
The matter is before court, so let's not talk about it.
Yes. So what I'm expecting from the IGP now is that the IGP should cut both edges. We are all equal before the law. Why is Chabo not invited?
Okay. Point well made. Thank you, Prince. Grateful. Let's allow other callers as well. You can also call us 0592 928 795, 0592 928 795, and 0208 227 290. Good morning.
Good morning, Johnny. This is Kwesi.
Yes, sir. Kwesi calling us from?
Johnny, from Accra.
Yes, sir. Talk to me, sir.
Thank you very much. Johnny,
yes,
do you remember we are in 2023?
Yes, we are.
But I thought the minister said 2023 they are not going to do any recruitment.
Yes. There's a job freeze. Or you have contrary information.
Johnny, when you, but you've been to prisons and other security services, and they are partners. When did they do the recruitment? And still, people are still at the recruit. When you go to prisons right now, there are recruits over there who are going through training at the various prison stations. When did the recruitment done? They are doing the recruitment. They are not passing through the normal. You'll be in the house, and then the letter, they'll just give them a letter that go to this prison center for a recruitment. They are doing it.
That's a serious allegation to make,
Master, I'm daring you today. Go to prison, James Camp. Go to Bosta Institute, which you have been on the Monday.
That's right.
You will go there if you will not see recruits wearing the uniform. They are there. Last fire service, they pass out. How many weeks? My brother, not to talk about our security services, prisons. I know about prisons. Master, officers are suffering. You've gone to their barracks over there. Go and see what they are living through.
I went on a tour when we went there. I saw it.
I beg of you. They don't have mouth to talk. They can't demonstrate. They can't go on strike. They are suffering too much. Salaries. Oh, they are suffering, my brother.
Okay.
You guys should do something about it.
We hear you. Thank you, my brother. Grateful. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Mingelebo.
You are Dromo,
Dromo song.
Johnny, on the park, and near Cabon Fuji, Besha.
Nakai.
Nay, I react me, Ben, war. The fact I can come to a fair now, and the people are talking about it, and some people are also developing or building a defensive mechanism. If we don't talk about it, people will not hear about it. And they will come back blaming the media. So those that are playing the ostrich tactics should just allow those that are going through the fire to express how painful it is. So that if there is something we can do about it, we all come on board. If government, I won't say if, because government has demonstrated to us that there is nothing that government can do. It's all about what the party wants.
Right.
If we don't understand what is happening, the whole of my life, one thing that I've taken notice of is what the president said, that all the complaints and all the voices that we are putting on board, it doesn't circle him. So I've advised myself, I'll do the very best I can to help those that are living around me, anybody I can help in life. But for this government, he's told us that it doesn't tickle him. He's not threatened by those words. So all we are saying, all the good mafia things, what can we do? He knows that there is nothing. No say the no. Take it this year. We can not repay vote to Yale. Course more get book Cabela. My back for oh no, I feel no, I see you. And this sort of thing, you know, your studio, the money while you can know, man.
Thank you very much. Amen. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Johnny, how are you?
I am greater than Accra.
Okay.
How are you too?
I'm also good.
Great.
Baba Ahmed is my name.
Okay, Baba Ahmed, talk to us. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Kaswa.
Kaswa, talk to us.
What is it inside truth? the finance minister can never be truthful.
Oh, why do you say that?
Yes. Do you remember that he was asked whether there will be any other or there will be a second phase of the debt exchange program? And he said no. In less than 24 hours, he said yes. It's like he is finding it too difficult to tell Ghanaians the truth. And John knew something about Ghanaians. If you tell the Ghanaian the truth, whatever you want with Ghanaian will do it for you. You go out there and tell us that, look, our pension money are safe. The next hour, you are on a different network. You say, oh, you are intending that you want to. I mean, what kind of trick is he doing on us? As if there is something inside truth that if he says it, he will all of a sudden perish. Then to the IGP. Fine. Are we to end? Johnny says something today. Immediately you call him. Johnny posts something on his Facebook wall. You call him. The next day, Baba Ahmed posts something. You are unable to call him. Then you say, oh, Baba Ahmed, you and Johnny, please come to my office and then try to put down tempers. What's he doing? What's he doing?
Okay.
He should just give us some break there. He should just give us some break.
I hear you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Baba Abed. Good morning. And you can also call us 0592 928 795 and 0208 227 290. Good morning.
Johnnie Hughes, good morning. This is Juliet.
Juliet, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm well.
Talk to me.
Johnnie Hughes, look, no one says free SHS is bad, right? But if the school facilities are full, I think the authorities should run a bit to avoid students using facilities that are unhygienic. And you'll be calling people, they will say the truth. Yep, they always tell lies. I think it doesn't sound, this is so bad. Good morning.
Morning, Juliet. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Johnny.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning to you and then your colleagues in the studio.
Great.
This is Clifford from Adenta.
Cliff, talk to me.
Yeah, Johnny, I think to me, I am not satisfied with the response of the regional minister.
Why?
As regards the question that you posed to him, that the headmaster has been to the school for 6 months, and he said it doesn't matter, he must take responsibilities. I just want to question the regional minister. Since when the politicians has been taking responsibilities, and they want a mere headmaster to take a responsibility to what he cannot do? I believe very well that headmaster cannot even dig a borehole for the students to drink water. How much more the headmaster can build a hostel facility for the students to stay in? And you are asking the headmaster to take a responsibility of something that he didn't do. Since Akufo-Addo has come to government, he has been putting blames on John Mahama, putting blames on Russia-Ukraine war. He doesn't even accept any single responsibility in Ghana. And you expect a follower to accept that kind of responsibility. That is why they said leadership by example. Your leaders, they are not even living exemplary life. So how much more a headmaster can do that? So I believe that, we the poor human beings, we are forced to take things that we are not supposed to carry.
Okay.
Good morning. Yes.
Cliff, thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Sonny.
Hi, Truth.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am greater than Accra. Talk to me.
Very good. Johnny, you've increased Johnny's bite from 10 minutes to 20.
Accra, today because the business...
Thank your management.
Because the business people didn't come, we beg you.
Please, when they come, tell them to keep it. We beg them. We need a bite. We need a bite.
Yeah.
There was one of your colleagues made a mention of that we are all equal before the law.
That's right.
It looks like we need to stop changing that. We are not equal before the law. Johnny, I always keep saying that politics leads and the law follows. So if you are expecting that the politician will talk and then the law would bring them to account, it's not going to happen. Yes, in our part of the world, it's the politicians that talk. It's their word that is law. Because if not, what Mahama, Aksegin, Ketia, and Brian Champo said, should not be taken lightly at all. We've enjoyed our peace for the past 30 years. We are not ready for any single person out of their own selfish interest to come and distort it for us. We beg them. If they've had enough money, I mean, they should leave it for people to come and chop some. Secondly, concerning the school, you see, I was listening to one interview, and they were talking about the Singapore nation as at now. If we want to stop corruption, it needs to start from the top. The people at the top need to be taken accountable. They need to be made accountable. And it's quite unfortunate. This particular era, Johnny, I'm not hearing of any demonstration. Johnny Mohammed's era, I mean, these people go on demonstration, and this one is demonstrating. The man who was talking about, the woman who was talking about the NAPCO, it's what you said is true. Everybody is quiet. It's as if we are all, I don't know whether we've been timid by this government, but the things that are going on in the country right now, and everybody is quiet. Yesterday, I was listening to John Awuni with your colleague Alfredo Kansi's program, and you could feel the passion and the frustration from the man's voice. Like, the president has assented to the 3 new laws, and it's going to bring more hardship, and everybody is quiet. I keep telling you, Johnny, Ghana belongs to you and I. If we don't talk now, these people will take us for granted, and there's nothing we can do. Thank you, and good morning.
Thank you very much, Ruth. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Johnny.
Onapo, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Hi.
Greater than Accra. Talk to me, bro.
Johnny, I listened to your interview about the school, and this thing of is true, is not true, I really don't get it, Johnny. When the postings were going on, they didn't know the capacity of the school.
So usually the heads would declare the vacancy available, and then the GES will fill the vacancy for them. That's where the issue is. So the GES is insisting that they declared a certain number as being vacant, and then so they were surprised that this situation had pertained, and that's why they were asking the headmaster and the senior housemaster to step aside.
But the guy you spoke with, I mean, you said, they can identify the guy as a student. So I'm in my house. I said there's a fire in my house. You are outside, and you are complaining there's no fire in my house. I mean, who does this? And everything in this country is about committee. I mean, what is it? You'll come out and you don't even get a head until of what is out there. And the whole issue will just go off. I mean, we should get serious in this country.
We need to.
We should please get serious. And then this gold thing. How many Ghanaians what's the number of Ghanaians? I don't know how to even put it. What's the number? 30 something, isn't it? Million, right?
$40 million every month.
No. I mean, how many are we as Ghanaians?
We're 30.1 thereabout, 30.2 thereabout.
Thank you. And the guy couldn't find anyone in this country to mention his name than the president. Isn't it interesting that amongst all of us, he didn't mention what's his name, the IGP, Muhammad. He didn't mention any of what, but he mentioned the president. And you have people coming to defend this. And he said he comes to Ghana and then wins contract. I mean, when you watch the expose, it's so bizarre. Look at the amount of money he mentioned, and people think it's okay. We should just brush it off and then that's it. I mean, we call for it, so we should face it anyway.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm not sure we can pick any more calls. We have to go at this point. A bit of a throwback for you. Listen.
I also want to assure all Ghanaians that no individual or institutional investor, including pension funds, in government treasury bills or instruments, will lose their money as a result of our ongoing IMF negotiations. There will be no haircuts. So I urge all of you to ignore the false rumors. Just as in the banking sector cleanup, government ensured that the 4.6 million depositors affected by the exercise did not lose their deposits. As a result of our ongoing IMF negotiations, there will be no haircuts.
Okay, I'll go on.
There will be no haircut.
There will be no, say it well.
There will
be no haircut. Fellow Ghanaians.
Part of our ongoing negotiations. There will be no haircut.
There will be no haircut.
No one's losing their deposits.
They give William Sakura. Charlie, we have to go a few happy birthdays and then we are done with the morning show. Asidiba is already seated. Phil, give us music. Oh. Belated happy birthday to Josephine J. 50th birthday yesterday. To Frederica Abuaji. Belated happy birthday to Madame Josephine J. 50th birthday yesterday was your birthday. Also a happy birthday to Frederica Abuaji, General Manager of Source One Management Services Limited. A happy birthday also to Professor William Atulik, the Provost of Heritage Christian University College. The family wish you well. This is from Simon. Also a happy birthday to Mr. Kofi Scherer, Dakwa, Consultant to the Board of Imperial General Assurance. God bless you for management and staff. And a belated one to Albert Jumfo, GJ President. Yeah, if it's your birthday, happy birthday as well to you. We have to go. Helen, William, it's been a good morning.
It's been a great morning. Radio gets results, and we're seeing that in action. Hopefully, there will be less questions and more answers when we congregate tomorrow. We have 24 hours to see what unfolds.
When I finish the show, I'll go and listen to the interview with the minister again. So I want to be sure. Because the minister said I wasn't listening.
Okay. All right.
You know, once upon a time, my good friend Honorable Mutala said I wasn't listening. And I played the video back to him. Dennis Abuaji. I like playing back so that we are sure.
You were preparing your next question and you were listening. So let's go and listen.
So that's why I want to listen.
But talking about questions, every moment we have to stop and ask ourselves, is it necessary?
Is it necessary?
Whatever. Is it necessary?
Whatever. And so on and so forth.
Whatever. Is it necessary? On that note,
we have learned from history that we do not learn from history. Black Rasta is up next. Kuchoko legend. Charlie, drop me Black Rasta music. Drop me something. My favorite, the one that has the high life reggae vibe, you know. Phil. Oh, drop the music. It's been a great morning. Thank you so much for listening to us. We're happy that you could join us here. Godwin Asidiba is ready with the news update at 10. Once it's done, Black Rasta and the Urban Blend team, Caleb Neboy. Rasta is in the studio. Rasta, join me quickly. Yeah. Rasta. Good morning. Blessed morning. How you doing?
Well, I'm good, man.
Good to see you.
Yes.
Always in high spirits.
And thanks so much for biting the people, biting them more.
Small.
Keep biting. Ghanasco people are so appreciative of your work,
Charlie.
You know.
We thank God.
Yeah, we have comments coming in and it's been positive.
We thank God.
Yes.
We thank God. Black Rasta, thank you so much indeed.
Blessed love.
Yes. Have a great show.
Thanks.
Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3 FM.